Well, the world is tuning in for the FIFA 2018 World Cup. Soccer is a madness all around the globe. The question is it here in the United States? Well, we all know that answer already, but hey, we want to hear your prediction about what you think about the World Cup 2018. Are you watching? Who do you think is going to win? Or do you even care? Jersey Joe here in the East Coast. There's Joel over there on the West Coast. Joel, are you excited for the World Cup 2018?
I'm barely fucking awake.
That's not the question.
No, I'm not.
Well, damn. Here's the thing. So a lot of people around the world are, and that's the thing I put out on social media. First off, we want you to chime in and join our live conversation. Who do you think will win? Are you watching? Do you care? Let's go to that first. So we want to hear your thoughts. In just a second, you'll get Joel's and our prediction for who's going to win. But first, we put up a poll out on social media because I wanted to ask the question just to find out from our Twitter audience, are you watching the World Cup? Simple question. And I was surprised by the result of this poll. 58% of the people said yes, 42% said no. But also, you got to understand, it's coming from me. It's more of a baseball I think that follows me, which is why it's 42%. If you say globally, a lot more people around the planet are watching. Are you, Joel?
Right. That's a good point to make. America's the one place where people don't really care that much.
You know what? I'm going to say, though, it is growing here, especially since in the last, say, decade here in New York City, more and more bars and restaurants are now actually having, like, watch parties and people are showing up and they're offering big discounts and things. It's not as big as, say, like March Madness or as big as, like, the Super Bowl, but it definitely is growing here. In fact, places around the one bar on the corner here is not showing anything, but then, like, 3 or 4 right over here are. So it is a growing sport here. Definitely bars are trying to cash in on those specials here in the New York City area. And crowds are turning out to them, at least the ones that are showing the games. So are Vegas bars out there showing the World Cup and offering specials as well?
Not really.
No?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to the bars during the World Cup games, so they're probably on, but...
You would think, though, with all the casinos, they got to be on out there in the sports books, too, at least. I mean, are they taking bets on them out there?
Everything's on at sports books. Yeah, they're definitely taking bets at sports books, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not like a huge deal out here. People really don't care that much.
And like I said, it's starting to grow here more and more on the East Coast. And now that New Jersey is legally taking sports bets, I bet you can actually probably bet on it. I don't know, though, because they're just starting to take sports bets now and the World Cup has already started. So you might be able to, like, predict, like, the top 4 or, you know, pick a final answer, but you're not going to do one of the, like, earlier events. But we want to know what
Delaware just got you guys. They beat you guys by a week for legal sports betting. So
they did.
Maybe they'll have some more advanced bets.
They did. Well, let me ask you, who do you think's going to win?
I don't fucking know. Brazil, because they care about soccer way more than everybody else.
That's a good save.
Brazil.
Now, I was going to say Germany at first until Mexico beat the crap out of them in that first round. I mean, so much to the point where they actually had an earthquake in Mexico City from their fans going nuts, which I think is respectable. And even though a lot of people are saying Germany, I think it's really going to be Mexico.
Yeah, apparently that was a huge upset. Someone said something about the earthquake today, and my response was, I was in Mexico one time for a Chivas and Atlas game, which is a huge rivalry in Guadalajara. And when I was driving around in the town during the game, nobody was out. I was late to get to the bars, and there was literally no traffic anywhere at all.
Oh, wow.
It was a big deal, and it was just a rivalry game.
Yeah. This
is the World Cup. So it doesn't sound like there should be an earthquake coming from people jumping, but... I mean, until a scientist tells me that definitely didn't happen, I'm not going to make a judgment.
Well, whether it did or not, it's still a good story, and it does show the passion of the fans down there, is that they're all, like, glued to their sets watching the game. And that's one thing that I notice, like, when I've gone to soccer games here in the U.S., like, soccer fans are really passionate. When you're in the stadium, like, definitely the noise, the energy, the vuvuzelas, I mean, it's a really electric atmosphere. And now you have that out there, too, with your Vegas soccer team.
Right, the Las Vegas Lights. That's a giant party. That's a giant party in a 3,000-seat ballpark. And just the culture that it brings is huge. And now everybody gets to see their cultures from around the world get meshed together in a sport that's been around worldwide for a lot longer than any other sport.
We put our predictions in, but we want to hear what your predictions are. Hit us up live. Let's take a few of your viewer comments right now because Ophir, he chimes in and says, what's a World Cup? Oh, okay, funny. And Najafi, who's going to win? He says Brazil or Iran. And Milsey writes in, he says Brazil, France, or Germany. Like I said before, Joel, I was on a German bandwagon until that Mexico City win. Milsey, he's a big soccer fan. He's a friend of yours from the UK, right?
Yeah, Sean's cool. He knows a lot about this shit. He's been the one in my ear chirping about it, telling me basically about every team and their strengths and all that shit, and the differences in culture, sending me a lot of videos. So he knows what he's talking about. I don't know if Germany losing to Mexico in the first round is a deal breaker or not, because I haven't been paying that much attention to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's right.
Well, he asked you on social media what you thought about Russia winning, and he wrote back and said, "No chance, lowest ranked team. Think we'll have a good tournament, hopefully. Last 8 for England." England is a good team. I agree with him. I think they will get to the top 8, but I don't see them winning it all.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say my money's on England because he's English and that's good enough for me.
I guess he would know. There's no stereotype there. Let's take a few more of your comments right now. Mark wrote in, he says, Argentina normally come good, spawny like Liverpool. Antonio says, Brazil, in my opinion. They're the hottest team right now. That's another one. Brazil, they always are pretty good when it comes to the World Cup and being the best. And Antonio, he knows what he's talking about.
Antoine's also one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And he lives, dies, eats, and breathes that shit. So I'm going to go ahead and piggyback on his answer, but I'll also be rooting for Sean's team.
He does know his soccer. Well, one comment here we got, Nick Stack Envy Insta wrote in, he said, here's a thought. Could Iceland or Serbia advance to the group of 16? What are your thoughts? Iceland has no chance beating Croatia. Croatia they're on top. They're always doing, that's my opinion each and every time. Now, Serbia, however, though, they're at the top of their division right now. They won their first game and they're moving on. Will they go all the way? Good question. Serbia's pretty good, but definitely Iceland has a hard time getting through Croatia. So put your money down on those bets right away. All right, we got another comment, and Dennis wrote in, and he says, maybe if every country took a sip from the cup, the world would be a better place. Fill the damn thing with beer. Oh, hang on. So Rockford Guitar wants to treat the cup like it's the Stanley Cup in hockey. Would you take a drink out of it if it was full of beer?
I'll take a drink out of almost anything if it's full of beer. If you give me a shoe and it's full of beer, I'll take a drink out of it. So
see, I set you up for that one. That's what happens when you do a co-host a drinking show like this. Of course, I knew what your answer was going to be. Because yes,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. There you go. Because I, too, would take a sip as well. Okay, well, one thing I did learn online is I went and researched the top 10 cities that are where soccer fans live in the United States. Is soccer alive or well in the U.S.? Well, here's the top 10 hotspots to watch soccer in the U.S. Number 10 is Chicago. 9 is Atlanta. 8 is Kansas City. 7 is D.C. 6 is Salt Lake City. This one blew my mind. New York is only number 5. There are actually 4 better cities. And number 4, believe it or not, Portland, Oregon. Number 3 is Seattle, Washington. 2, Orlando, which I didn't even know was that big in Florida. And number one is LA. I was surprised by that. I thought New York would be higher up on that list and definitely didn't see a small town city like Portland on there. I mean, what do you think about that?
I'll say 2 things. One is usually places where there's a bigger Latino population, more immigrants, more different sports in general than just the same cracker shit that we watch. The other thing is Seattle's had a really good Major League Soccer team for a long time.
The Sounders, yeah.
And they don't have a whole lot of actual pro teams like in the Big 4 sports. So that's one more reason to be watching for them. Portland, I'm not sure. Maybe it's related to that. Who knows?
That was going to be my guess, and we'll see what happens when they get a hockey team up there as well, because that's coming soon to Seattle as well. We want to thank our live viewers.
Probably in a couple of years here.
Yeah, it's coming. We want to thank our live viewers. We want to thank you for all your great comments. So get your betting slips out there and see if any of our predictions are right. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below as well. And don't miss Thursday's Get Back to Jersey show, because this week I got a crazy show for you. It's funny restroom wall sayings. Here in New York City, there's a lot of bars and restaurants that allow you to actually write and make little sayings on the wall in the restroom. And I've worked on this for last year, and I found some funny and hilarious comedy written on the walls of the bathroom. I guess if people have time to think about crazy sayings that are in the can, you'll see the best of the best Thursday on Kicking Back with Jersey Joe. It's a different episode, but it's certainly kind of funny. I don't think they really do that in Vegas, so I haven't really noticed any places or bars that let you legally write graffiti in the bathroom.
We got to go to the Double Down Saloon.
Okay, we'll put that on the list. I also want to try out Vegas Lights game, too, when I get out there at some point. We'll put that on the far itinerary as well. I've been to lots of the Red Bulls games here. They're a lot of fun. So I got to say, you know what? Soccer is a lot of fun. Just like I said, when you watch in the stadium, it's an electric atmosphere, and it kind of gets like that too when you're watching in bars and restaurants here. Although you and I, let's be honest, baseball's our favorite sport.
Yeah, but people in general should not knock other cultures. Soccer, football, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
When you actually go there with an open mind and hang out and just try and take everything in, you will have a good time.
It's hard not to, you're right. And one thing we also have a good time is right here on The Brew each and every week. So thank you guys for watching. Jersey Joe here, Eye on the Box over there. We'll see you next time. I hope.